was done for the day, but I'm still working with my hunters, doing the gunsmith calibrations. I'm close to getting through rank 16, which means there's an exotic engram. Somewhere in this house is a pony. You'll have to do a little back search for that one to get the joke. But in any case, yeah. So I didn't talk about what I have for breakfast. I know I don't. I normally talk about that. Today was super simple. It's a slice of cheddar cheese, a couple of eggs fried over medium, yolks really soft, and yeah, and a piece of sourdough toasted with a little bit of butter on it. It's actually butter spread. It's not real like butter. It's I don't even know if it qualifies as margarine, but it's like low sodium because the missus is trying to make sure I don't murder myself with flavor. No, I'm teasing. It's my choice, actually. I choose to reduce the amount of salt in my life as much as I can, which is why I don't play raids, nightfalls, or much Crucible anymore. Waiting for Mayhem to come back. This week, it is not Mayhem. So, yeah, there's either weeks with Mayhem and then weeks not Mayhem. That's how I see it. Uh, and again, it's all about the theme of the day is being careful of what you wish for and being truly appreciative of what you have and the contributions you can make. Because a lot of times people feel like they don't do enough. And, there's a couple of arguments in this worth exploring. One of them is like, well, if you don't feel you're doing enough, then maybe you aren't. Or maybe you know you could do more and have chosen not to. Or somebody has, deliberately forcing you to feel inadequate, in which case that's a person, in which case you've probably done more than you needed to, and they're upset at the fact that they weren't able to compete or compare to what your efforts were. So, yeah, and then this goes right into gameplay. If you're looking for groups to play activities with, like eventually I will be looking for groups to play the raids with, especially the witness raid, because I want to go and get those. I want those patterns. I want all the patterns. I want all the things. I want all the patterns. It's not that I'm not appreciative of the weapons I have. It's just, I cannot justifiably say that they are good or bad for me until I have the chance to level those weapons up and then try out those perks. So far, I've discovered that the shotgun, the Ragnild, is actually pretty good, especially with the subsistence roll that I put on it, even though I didn't need to go with the enhanced perk, but I did, just because I wasn't truly educated as to what enhanced subsistence really does provide you. A lot of the enhanced perks don't do much more than what their non-enhanced versions do, but they will give you a stat bump, so there might be like extra stability, extra handling, and that's a good thing. That's really fun. Now, I've been asking for weapon crafting as well as somebody else. So many other people have been asking for weapon crafting. Ever since Destiny 1 first teased it out with weapon rerolls via the gunsmith. And, and of course, what was it? The prototype weapons, too. It's like once a week he'd come out with, like, a prototype or two that you didn't have to go and play with. And there was no way to infuse it. It was always sub-levels. Really low power levels and stuff, so you kind of struggled a little bit with it. As you can see, I am not a precision shooter. I am very much center of mass. Traditionally trained, I guess. Or classically educated in the old school shooter verse. So yeah, I'm trying to think about what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, swords. Ta-da! I love chain reaction. I cannot tell you how excited I am about chain reaction. I wish there was a weapon out there that had dragonfly chain reaction on it. It would be worth chasing, I would say, for sure. Oop, that's a no fight. So thank you. So yeah, we asked for weapon crafting and we got it, and now everyone's kind of like, why? Why weren't we more specific about it? Because the grind is real. You really need to put the effort in to, first of all, get the patterns, then to level the weapons, once you have those patterns. So, yeah, good example of being careful of what you ask for. And that's going to do that guy. He's all done. Just take him back to the tower. Whoops, take him back to the tower. I'm not using the app because it's my other devices are occupied right now with other things. So, yeah. Um, so, yeah, being careful what you ask for and appreciating what your contributions are. Because honestly, it's good to get recognition. It's fun to have someone come up and pat you on the back and say, "Good job. We really appreciate the effort you put in there. Whether we won or lost, it didn't matter. You were a participant. You were relevant in whatever progress we were able to achieve." Everybody wants that feeling. Everybody wants to know that they matter in some way or another. And it's important to let people know that. But at the same time, you should never feel entitled to that, recognition. You should never feel like you're owed that credit. Um, because if you're not getting the credit you feel you deserve, or you feel like you're not being recognized for the things you're doing, you might want to rethink the environment you're doing it in, or who you're doing it for. Um, because it's a multi-lane intersection. It's not a roundabout. It's a busy ass fucking intersection in the most accident-ridden part of town. Um, where literally there will be collisions of egos, of personalities, of opinions, of policies, of practices. I don't know the P's going to alliterate here. Perspectives. And you just got to be patient and persevere. Not stopping yet. What's worse, a pun or alliteration? I don't know. I think alliteration is probably. I think they're about equal. They are. So, yeah. So, and that comes down to the whole thing about me chasing triumphs and titles. I got the Flamekeeper one and I gilded it because I could. I didn't really care about it. It just kind of happened. I got the Iron Banner one because I like playing Iron Banner. As much as I complain about it and how shitty it is, the same goes for Gambit. To be fair, I earned this before they took away Gambit Prime. Um, and yeah, I really miss Gambit Prime because Gambit Prime reminded players that you have a battlefield role. You're a slayer, or you're a banker, or you're a defender. And it all comes down to the same three battlefield roles that Destiny first set up in the original game of, damager, defender, and supporter. Warlocks were supposed to be your buffs and debuffs bank. They were the ones who were supposed to buff the teammates for damage outputs and heals, and then debuff the enemies, with different things. Um, then and Titans were supposed to be obviously the tanks. They were the defenders. And pretty much everything they did was defense, except for and then when they got the solar ability, then everything went into offense. I mean, every Guardian does what every other Guardian does in the game. There's no true, battlefield role that you can pick with your character class. If I want to be a supporter in my battlefield role as a hunter, then I would be playing things like Tether, um, and throwing smoke bombs and shit like that. Every class has two damaging, abilities that have some kind of battlefield support in them, and then one true debuffer buffer kind of thing. Like it used to be that on the Night Stalker, you had a smoke grenade. Where is shit? You had a smoke grenade, a snare bomb that you could throw. That see this on weakest targets on detonation, but there was one that you could throw that actually buffed your allies. It would make them disappear. Um, it would make. I think if I put it on, let me see. Maybe I can access all the other ones. There we go. No. I'm on my human. Never mind. So I'm not going to have access to that. Now we're waiting for the tower to land. Tower, this is Guardian 000, requesting permission to land. This is Tower. We don't have your flight number on our schedule. You might have the wrong tower. Oh, I'm sorry. This is different reality. This is going to take a while. And I'm running out of things to talk about. I guess that's really all it is. Just a reminder and an example of what we got versus what we wanted, and what we may be getting versus what we're asking for. Um, I guess it's all about making your voice known and heard and understood. Because shouting in the dark is one thing, calling someone over for help is another, and then getting that person to actually commit and complete the help, that's the miracle in itself. And we as a community in the game in IRL, we need to understand that just because someone's asking for help and you're able to help doesn't always mean you need to help, because sometimes the help you can offer is just pointing them in the right direction to get the resources for themselves, because that's really what it comes down to. But if you're, we don't want to be a carrying community, but we want to be a caring community, and that's really the thing that you can pull away with being careful for what you ask for and wish for, and then truly appreciating what you've already achieved before you go on and push for that next envelope. I just kind of more or less repeated what I said last time, but I had that cool example of weapon crafting to bring into this, because it's always important to have examples. People sometimes, don't really get the abstract thought and can't sort it out for themselves right away. I mean, I was like that for a long time in school. It was a lot of the reason why so many of my subjects were basically struggles. This is getting boring now. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect from the game. And, oh, here we go. It's almost like they could tell I was getting ready to say, fuck off, dudes. I got other better things to do with my time than wait for you to show me a beautiful shot of Earth. Man, why did it take so long to fucking land me at this tower? You wanted to make sure you found the perfect blend of platforms here? I care to play with PC and Xbox. I am a PlayStation player. I will always be a PlayStation player. I will prefer to play with PlayStation players for the very simple reason that I can trust that if the connection is wacky, somebody is using their mom's telephone as a fucking hotspot. Fuck me. All right, here we go. So now we get this done. Anyway, that's about it. I think that's really what I'm going to talk about. Unless something else comes up. Thanks for stopping by.